All right, take 3. I flew through the other ones, no problem. Now all of a sudden I gotta get to my mother-in-law and I can't seem to get the words out of my mouth here. So the last one, your I, my favorite one on the gentI list. Input prices, okay? Input prices are very commonly confused with one of your demand curve shifters. We'll talk about that in a second. But all an input is a material or a resource that you use to make something. So if you're a supplier, think when we did our circular flow activity, think about those firms. What resources did they need to make calculators that day? Joey, they needed factories and workers. Good, they did. They needed those things. So they had to go out and they had to get those things. Now, the easier it was to get a factory or a worker or any resource is going to make life easier for a firm that is producing stuff. So let's see if we can think of a product here. What am I going to choose? I got to be something crafty. Beer. Let's choose beer. Beer. Okay? Beer is our product. What do you need to make beer? Let's see. You need barley. You need yeast. What else might you need to make beer? To make anything, pretty much. What do you need to do it? Think about your circular flow activity. We needed factories. We needed workers. So workers, or I'll call them laborers, could be an input. And in fact, it's a very popular input to see on questions, all right? Now, we can come up with a bunch of other things. You need machinery to make beer. You need bottles to put the beer into. You need kegs to put the beer into. You need rubber hoses for the beer to flow through. You need lots of stuff to make beer, okay? Just like you need lots of stuff to make any other product. So the product doesn't matter, but they all have inputs. Every product has bunches and bunches of inputs. So let's imagine for a second, you're a beer maker. And the price of, it could be any one of these things, goes up. Let's say the price of workers, laborers. So I'll put that price of input, I'll call it laborers, rises. So now imagine you own a brewery. You're producing beer, or trying to anyways. But now, all of a sudden, the workers that you have to hire or need to hire to get the job done, they cost more. Maybe the minimum wage went up or something like that. Something happened that the price of a worker increased. Is that going to make your life as a brewer easier or more difficult? Is it easier to find people and hire people to work in your brewery, or is it more difficult now that they are more costly? It's going to be more difficult. Because now, as opposed to paying them $7 an hour, I got to pay them $10 an hour. And that's a big jump. I don't have that kind of money just laying around. That makes it harder for me. So my supply curve is going to go to the left. However, switch the example now. Now, let's suppose for whatever reason, the price of a laborer falls. So now, is it going to be easier to get your hands on workers to work in your brewery? To hire them and retain them at your business? Sure. So now my supply curve can go to the right. And the same would be true if I substituted barley for laborers, or yeast for laborers, or glass bottles, or bottling machines, or anything like that you need to make beer. They're probably not going to give you beer, but they'll give you some other product and they'll say this is an input. Now, be very careful here, because a lot of times kids will say, oh, the question will come up and it'll be something like, let's use a more realistic one. Orange juice. What might be an input that you need to make orange juice? Oranges. Oranges. You need oranges to make orange juice. And so they'll say those two things go together. It sounds an awful lot like which one from your demand curve shifter list. Sounds like complements. They go together. But they don't go together in the sense you need the oranges to make the orange juice, but you don't go to the grocery store and go, I've got the oranges in my basket. What do I need to go with my oranges? Oh, I better go get some orange juice. No, they are not complements. You need oranges to make orange juice, but you don't pair them together. Caught it? Like you would say orange juice and toast, maybe. I don't know. So you got to be careful about inputs and not confuse them with complements. If you have any questions, make sure you let me know. I got to get my mother-in-law. So have a good night.